Today in 59 BC, Pompey, one of Julius' lieutenants and another ambitious political crosses, are still dominating Roman politics with their pooled politics and resources.
It all started when the late Republic Romans stood with the simple and inescapable fact that their old city-state constitution was unequal to the demands of overseas goods and other Roman institutions. Failed to grasp the needs of the empire, the authorities had lost control of their own generals and soldiers, and when the armies put their faith in the commanders instead of Rome, the Republic was doomed.
Pompey began his career as one of Julius Caesar's lieutenants. After his army began rebelling in Spain, he threatened to rebel unless the Senate allowed him to run for consul. He and Crassus both won consulship. I am here with the man himself, Pompey. Now, Pompey, what made you decide to run for consul?
Well, I just thought that was time for the Roman politics to change. And of the running, I would be able to change them.
Why did you join forces with Crassus?
Well, mostly because he also won consulship, and a little because he was a ambitious politician like me.
Thank you, Pompey. While Pompey's and Crassus' ambitions long way. Back to you in the studio. I think that one day someone is finally going to defeat them, but for now, Pompey and Crassus are still in command.
This is just three politicians have just formed. The first triumvirate, the consuls Pompey and Crassus and Julius Caesar.
These three men formed a political alliance in which they agreed to advance one another's interests. Today, in 59 BC, we have ourselves a new political alliance.
I'm here with one of the members of the first triumvirate, Julius Caesar. Now, Caesar, how did you become part of this alliance?
Well, Pompey and I were both solos, real political heroes, so we knew each other very well. So when he asked me to join, I said, sure.
And Caesar, what have you realized of the old Republican constitution?
I have now realized that the days of the old republic has ended.
Well, that's a first. Thank you, Caesar.
You're welcome.
Back to you in the studio.
I believe that in the future, we'll see a lot more of just Julius Caesar. Well, more news is coming up next. Breaking news. Today on this day of 50 BCF, Julius Caesar has conquered all of Gaul. Yes, all of Gaul. Now, and the man by far has cast the longest shadow over their troubled ears.
Julius Caesar, born of a noble family, received excellent education, which he furthered by studying with some of the greatest teachers of the day in Greece. His serious intellectual interest, immense literary ability, affable personality, and wit made him a superb orator. Not only that, he was also a shrewd politician of unbridled ambition.
Military service was a big stepping stone to politics for Julius Caesar. I'm here with the man of the hour, Julius Caesar. Now tell me, Caesar, where did you launch your military career?
Well, I launched it in Spain. We were where I won the respect and affection of my troops.
And Caesar, what makes you a military genius?
Well, personally, I am brave and tireless. But also, I know how to win battles and turn victories into permanent gains.
Thank you, Caesar. Well, we're probably going to see more of him in the future, and who knows, someday he'll end up being dictator. Back to you in the studio.
Also on Caesar's account on his operations, his commandments on the Gallic Wars became a classic Western literature. This won't be the last time we see or hear from Julius Caesar.
On the news today, in 49 BCE, blood is boiling in Egypt for a battle for control between two siblings, Cleopatra the Seventh and Ptolemy the Eighth. Meanwhile, here the distrust between Caesar and Pompey is growing into a long, bloody civil war.
It all started when the first triumvirate fell apart earlier this year. After Croesus died in battle, both Caesar and Pompey suspected each other of treachery that has resulted a long, bloody civil war raging from Spain across northern Africa to Egypt.
What are your feelings toward yet another civil war?
Angry because yet again I can't feel safe outside my home.
Annoyed because something so little, like pointing fingers at each other, can result in something so big.
Well, there you have it. Citizens are not pleased about another civil war. Back to you in the studio.
Caesar, with his courage and wit, will probably end up winning and becoming dictator. But who knows? This blood civil war may take a while.
Civil war has now become part of our society. It's affecting all of us from the very rich to the very poor. The issue is just outside our window houses every day. People can't even leave their houses with the fear of getting killed since all these wars are going on. But by joining Julius Caesar's army, you'll be able to help put a stop to this. By joining the army, you will not only put a stop to all these wars, but even better, you'll be provided with free food, shelter, and free battling gear. Plus, you'll get condolences from Julius Caesar himself. So join now, and you can put a rest to the civil unrest. This has been a public service announcement.
Julius Caesar has finally returned home, but not by himself. He has arrived with a woman. And who is this lover of Julius Caesar, you may ask? Well, it is none other than Cleopatra the Seventh from Egypt, except she isn't exactly the favorable woman for Julius Caesar in Rome.
When Caesar was away, he and Cleopatra became allies and even actually lovers, and it didn't take long before he bore him a son. Today in 46 BC, when Julius Caesar arrived home with Cleopatra, Caesar was welcomed with love and kindness. Meanwhile, Cleopatra was greeted by hatred.
What do you think of Cleopatra?
I think she is a threat to our nation. Roman values, and she should go back to where she came from.
She symbolizes the immoral East.
What kind of Jew do you think Cleopatra is?
I think she's a descendant Oriental queen.
Well, Romans aren't very fond of Cleopatra turning out to be Julius's lover. Back to you in the studio.
Well, Cleopatra isn't being loved by Roman citizens, but hated. But Caesar will figure something out. And while he's here, probably even become a dictator. But in the meantime, citizens aren't too thrilled about Cleopatra being the new queen. But it's love. But maybe not for the citizens of Rome.
We have ourselves a new dictator. The famous Julius Caesar finally defeated Pompey's forces, overthrowing the republic, making himself dictator of our Roman Empire.
After 4 years of brutal battle against Pompey, Julius Caesar finally rises to the top, defeating him. It was a bloody battle that raged from Spain across northern Africa to Egypt. It all started in 49 BCE when the first triumvirate had fallen apart. Crocus had died in battle, and Caesar and Pompey accused each other of treachery, which resulted in a bloody battle.
I'm here with the man who's done it all. Now, Caesar, what helped you defeat Pompey?
Well, since in Spain I want the courage, respect, and affection of my troops, I knew that they would assist me in defeating Pompey.
Was making yourself dictator another one of your military strategies of turning your victories into permanent gains?
Well, of course. I thought by creating Pompeii and by overthrowing the Republic, I had done Rome a great favor. It was time for a change. Good one, I say.
Thank you, Caesar. There you have it. Julius, Caesar is here to make a great change in our society. Back to the studios.
After 4 years of civil war between Caesar and Pompey, we finally have ourselves a champion. Julius Caesar, now our new dictator. New reforms will be on their way and big changes are coming. Although we can finally rest for a while, I believe more is on the way to come. Hopefully Caesar will be alert because I sense some will want to stop Caesar from becoming more powerful. Just be ready for what is to come next.
On this day in 45 BC, I am here in front of the place where Caesar has been believed to have been assassinated. Many believe that a group of conspirators assassinated him, but it is unknown who these conspirators are.
I am here with Octavian, better known as Augustus Caesar's 18-year-old grandnephew. Augustus, how do you plan to find Caesar's assassination?
Well, I'm planning to join forces with two of my granduncle's lieutenants and hunt down his assassinator.
Oh, I have heard since Caesar left the heir to you, you might be our new dictator. What do you plan to do as a dictator?
I plan to first hunt down and defeat my granduncle's assassinators.
Thank you, Augustus. Well, our future dictator is determined to bring Caesar's assassinators to justice. Back to the studio.
18-year-old Augustus will probably end up being heir, but those conspirators will probably set off another round of civil war. So after 1 year of being dictator, Julius Caesar is found dead and murdered by a group of unknown conspirators. May his soul rest in peace.
Are you tired of not being able to leave your house because of the civil war going on? Well, with the protector shield, you can. It's strong, durable, so if someone tries to get at you with a sword, it protects you completely. Also, it comes with a strap to make it easier to carry. So now you don't even have to struggle to carry it while you're walking. And to top that, it's light, not heavy, like all those other shields. So now it's double the easy to carry it. By buying the product shield, you'll have enough protection to go outside your door.
Finally, in 31 BCE, our civil war days are over. Thanks to Augustus' victory at the Actinium, our age of civil war has ended. Although Augustus defeated Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actinium in Greece, the two escaped, but Augustus followed to Egypt where the couple committed suicide rather than to fall into Augustus' hands.
Later in the year, when Rome was divided, Antony met with the Queen of Egypt, Cleopatra. She became active in Roman politics and decided to support Antony, who liked Julius Caesar, became her ally and lover. In 33 BC, Augustus proclaimed Antony a traitor and rebel, quoting him as a romantic and foolish captive of seductive Cleopatra. When he, with the might of Rome, Augustus backed that same her when she admired with defeat the fleet and army Antony and Cleopatra.
How do you feel about the age of civil war finally ending?
I feel relieved because I can finally leave my house without being scared.
Happy because the soldiers can rest and we don't have to worry about our love and caring for war.
We can finally say hello to the nicer and brighter days since all our worries can be put behind us now. The age of civil war has finally come to an end. This is the day everyone has been waiting for, and may I just say, I myself am feeling way better than when the Civil War was still going on.